And a very good afternoon. I'm Ian Grant. Welcome in on a damp Saturday afternoon. If you want me to be honest with you, this is Ask the Expert here on News Talk 1010. I got a great guest this hour because in many ways he is my nemesis because everything he can do, the good Lord knows I should never go near. I'm not kidding. My guest this hour, Sean O'Connor. He is president of SJOC Construction. Sean, welcome in. Thanks for joining me.
Ian, how are you doing there? Nice to speak with you on air here.
It is great to have you joining us, Sean, because I'm a programmer. I'm a computer guy. I'm an engineer. I sit at the computer and I draw lines and I make AutoCAD pictures and everything else. And something about that experience makes me think, you know what? I should be able to do this job. And as I was telling you when we talked earlier this week, I go and I buy the parts, and I go up to Home Depot, and I get all the parts, because, it should be pretty straightforward, and I watch the YouTube videos. And a project that might have cost $1,000, I guarantee you, by the time I get my paws just on it, I'm up around $4,000, and by the time I actually call people who know what they're doing on the project, it can easily be into the double digits. So I'm really looking forward to having you on the show today.
Well, I mean, just like your world, I had a printer issue the other day. I spent probably 2.5 hours trying to figure out the damn thing, and I made one phone call to an IT specialist, and in 13.5 seconds he had it figured out. So, we don't know everything. We don't know all things, but, in your case, I'm glad you went through that. That is actually what a lot of people experience. And construction is not something that you wake up understanding or doing from birth. It's highly specialized trade categories and procedures and material knowledge that has to go into making something look right. So I understand your plight, and glad to shine some light on the industry and understand how best to try to remove those hurdles from other people.
Sean, there's so many shows I do like this, and this is as good an example as any where as long as things go well, people can usually, plod through and do as much as they can. It's the experience, though, when things don't go well that really, really counts. You hit that pipe and all of a sudden there's water everywhere, or you put the nail in the floor and realize you just knocked the light downstairs off its socket. Not that I know any of this stuff, but it really is that experience that really does count in the end, because as you said, I mean, there's an old joke about somebody's pipes are blocked, and so they call the plumber, and the plumber walks in, takes out a wrench, hits the pipe, and says, that's $150. And the guy goes, really, that's all you did for $150? And the guy says, no, I knew where to hit the pipe with the wrench. And that's where the experience comes in.
Exactly. And it goes so much quicker when you get the plumber, you get the electrician specifically. They know exactly how to disconnect where required and set it up safely for the next incoming groups and trades. It's a no-brainer to have these individuals involved from the get-go. And, I walked into a site visit recently, and somebody said, oh, yeah, I did all the trim myself, and did the drywall, and I did the electrical, and I said, wait, just back up for a minute. You did the electrical? What do you mean you did the electrical? So there's a certain element to it where you're, as you mentioned originally, you're not paying that much more to have the individuals come in, and sure, they have their hourly rates or what have you for the contract, but just the end product and result and for longevity. I mean, we're talking about real structures and real people's lives that have to function for the next 10, 15, 50 years, and you do it right from the beginning, and you organize it properly. We mentioned you come inside of a project and you have to figure out a lot of tweaks and exactly, one thing becomes the other, but there's a lot of preparation and pre-planning and pre-construction that we get involved with. It goes a lot smoother, right? We get to iron out those wrinkles, cut down to the bare bones of what the client requires entirely, and set the plan in motion and the people to service that plan from the beginning.
Like any project, though, it's what you don't know that can really trip you up. My friend is an electrician, And one of her family members decided that they were going to redo the wiring in the kitchen, knowing that she's an electrician. So what they did was they rewired the entire place, put up the drywall, left wires hanging out of the wall, and said to her, you know what, you're an electrician, connect the outlets. And she says, well, what's joined back there? Well, I put it in junction boxes back there. She said, but I can't do that. I mean, I have no idea what kind of mess. And it was a mess back there. And they literally had to go through all the drywall, cut the channels in, reopen all these junction boxes that were buried in the back of the wall. It ended up easily costing 3-4 times what it would have cost had she just talked to a professional.
Easily. You and I spoke before about a restaurant principle where you have the option. You can eat at home and you buy all the ingredients and you set the time aside and prepare the surface and you start to cook and you make, of course you get it to your liking and to your taste. And then there's a lot of the cleanup after the fact. Maybe, you got a phone call halfway through and you come back maybe 5 minutes too late and now your dinner or your lunch became something that wasn't intended to be. So we like to give the full service restaurant style where you come to a nice place, nice facility. You're sitting down. You're greeted at the table, professional, knowledgeable, experienced people. We sit you down at the table, give you the menu style, exactly what would you like to have, and you go through. You can add, delete, change, remove. You create something custom for you that you like to. In this case, you would like to eat on that day. And then, we understand exactly what your order is. And then we go in the back kitchen. And you guys you don't have to be concerned how the hell this meal is going to come out cooked and all the people that are involved and the deliveries and the mechanisms. Like, that's what we do. And we come back and we put your meal on the table. And, you get to enjoy, right? You don't have to worry about the cleanup after. And so that's a service, and that's a true service mentality that we give to our clients. We expect in all experiences and interactions. So it's just enjoyable. Our core is a better construction experience. And what does that mean, right? So we go through all the machinations of how to better serve the client, give them everything that they want and then some, and just, where you can do this day in, day out. It doesn't have to be this huge issue or headache. Where am I going to find this? How are we going to do that? That's what we do every single day. We're damn good at it, and we just enjoy it. I can't say enough about how I'm in love with construction personally. I'm so grateful to be in this role with the people surrounding us, the clients or employees or trade contractors. I mean, it's a huge group that goes into producing these elements, and I highly recommend it.
This is Ask the Expert here on News Talk 1010. I'm Ian Grant. I'm joined by Sean O'Connor. He's president of SJOC Construction. SJOCConstruction.com is the website. Comments, questions? You got any questions about construction industry at all? Give us a shout. Phone lines are open at 416-872-1010. 416-872-1010. You can also text us toll free at 71010. One of the areas, Sean, where experience really does count, and it's a huge issue that I find from the engineering world, and then I watch it happen in the construction world, is that the experience teaches you to ask the questions before you start the project. Because what happens inevitably is the clients have a good idea of what they want. And the inexperienced will say, yes, let's do that. Whereas the experienced people will sit down and walk through that with you. Because inevitably what happens if you don't is what's called scope creep. And all of a sudden, that door turns into a double door and the window turns into a bay window. And it's all these questions that in theory should have been answered in the beginning, but it's only the experience of going through that is going to teach you to ask these questions in the first place.
Absolutely. Scope creep is a very real thing. I personally don't like changes mid-project because we have a game plan of attack to go in there with the full understanding of the scope of work, and we try to iron out all those wish lists, those bucket lists ahead of time, and get involved even especially in the design, the pre-construction, so that we can review any drawings that are there or review some idea photos, and then we can dissect these images and the intentions of the client to say, I understand you have this single door here. If you open it that way, it's going to be a little bit of an obstruction. Would you like to change to a pocket door? And they say, oh, great, I love pocket doors, or no, I can't stand pocket doors, but, what is the cost? So then we do optional items for those specific areas, and it becomes a fluid nature leading up to construction. And then we get the full plan together and then execute on that. And now naturally, people, no matter how much plan you go into, you get inspired. They have a new idea, a new plan. They really want to add something else. It's like, great, we're still at the stage where we can make those decisions, we can make those changes. Otherwise, we have a discussion around exactly what it is that they intend to change. And at the end of the day, we are saluting the client. Absolutely anything that's requested. Also, in the scope of work and the understanding of the project, we try to uncover those hidden areas. Even with the presenting of the existing house, like, hey, the ceiling is a little waved. We can re-level it, so it'll give you a better finish. Like we can identify those now rather than going back later and saying, oops, we didn't think about this. But now we're going to present it. I hate that. I can't, that's in the industry is rampant with that.
Yes.
But we like to iron those out ahead of time.
It's scary how many dollar signs and zeros are involved in an oops, especially if there's more than one. This is Ask the Expert here on News Talk 1010. I'm Ian Grant. I'm joined this hour by Sean O'Connor. He is president of SJOC Construction. You got construction questions? Phone lines are open. Give us a shout, 416-872-1010. You can also text us, 71010. This is Ask the Expert here on News Talk 1010. I'm Ian Grant. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm joined by Sean O'Connor. He is president at SJOC Construction. SJOC is a boutique Toronto-based construction company working across a variety of sectors, including residential and ICI, and continually work on exciting projects. And Sean, until about 48 hours ago, I had no idea what ICI is, and those are impressive areas to work in when you know what it stands for.
Absolutely. Institutional, commercial, industrial. We are industry and location agnostic, if you will. We have a diverse background on our team with different build experiences, different design and coordination experiences. We have this massive outreach with trade contractors across Ontario. We are approaching other provinces, and now we're piggybacking on a lot of chains to extend national into Canada. We service everything from your $20,000 job, let's say small bathroom renos, and we go all the way up to we do schools, we do community centers. The list goes on. We're currently based in a bunch of different cities across Ontario. We have a full-time site supervisor, project manager, project coordinators that dedicate themselves to fulfill the specific requirements of each job. So it's the most exciting job in the world. Very happy to be doing this, and the world is just open with the opportunities to service a vast array of clients.
It's worth mentioning, by the way, that, the institutional clients, the military clients, especially the security clients, I've been involved in that too. And not only does it involve a special clearance in some cases, but it also involves an exceptional attention to detail that, when you are used to that attention to detail, all of a sudden it's part of your commercial, it's part of the residential. It's just, you just do it by rote, and it just makes your work so much better.
Yes, yeah. These clients and the consultants that organize them before they get to the build phase are incredibly detailed, very precise. There is probably 25 different reports that need to be submitted just to satisfy each condition and phase and milestone, the inspections, the engineer involvement, the designated project managers and coordinators on the client and architectural side, as well as on our side. The commitment to those terms and conditions to fulfill them entirely is very real. because they're very important projects that are that have their own uniqueness according to that client. So again, we salute to the client anything that's requested and agreed upon according to those drawings, then we fulfill them to the nth degree, right?
You're listening to Ask the Expert here on News Talk 1010. I'm joined by Sean O'Connor, president at SJOC Construction. There were a couple of areas that, looking into the show, that we would be doing that I never considered before, and it's amazing just how important they are. And one of those areas is when you're working a condominium complex, you're working in someone's condo, just some of the hoops that you have to go through, the standards that you have to meet. There's a great video online that details a condo rebuild that SJOC did, and I mean, the client was just thrilled, not only at the end result, but also at the care that you took, and the noise considerations, the dust considerations, all kinds of areas that I would never have thought twice about had I said to you, hey, come in and do some work in my condo.
Yeah, we're entering into somebody's home, somebody's community. In condos, it's shared with multiple residences, depending on the size of the building, number of floors. The board of directors, they create the rules and guidelines for contractors to be working in buildings. They've probably had negative experiences previously with damage to hallways and elevators, parking and loading, dumpster bins just sitting there for weeks, garbage that gets accumulated, noise to the neighbors. I mean, we go in there as friends to the community. We knock on the neighbors' doors, we introduce ourselves, and we ask for any special requirements. There was one client, he had a podcast or something he was doing between the hours of 1 and 2 p.m. and asked if we could just cancel all noise. And absolutely, so we structure the project according to the place that we're in. Every project is unique, and especially we want the client as a long-term resident of this condo to be well appreciated by the condo board and the managers and security, so that we keep everybody on a positive note and keel, and just give the respect where it's due to everybody that allows us to work in there. And the condo managers bend over backwards for us, right? We need an elevator immediately because there was a delay in something that we got it now, like we have to get it now, or unless we have to wait another week. So hey, can we quickly jump on this elevator? And then absolutely. So it goes both ways, right?
And also not just condos. I mean, obviously, if you're in a commercial building, you've got all kinds of elevator restrictions. Any kind of commercial building, you're going to have elevators. You're going to have the cleanliness. You can't leave stuff lying around the corridor. These are all these little areas. We go back to that experience thing again. These are all these little areas where, yes, it's great asking, your next door neighbor who has a hammer and nails and is a bit of a weekend handyman. These aren't things that person might consider, and they can cause huge problems.
Sure. We're in St. Lawrence College that we have to complete a certain level of scope there, and there's a massive component of asbestos abatement. That good thing we're doing that now before it's extremely populated with the students coming back on board in September. But once they come back on board, we're still there. We're working, so we're sectioning off, we're hoarding, we're creating dust protection, any notification signs, and just liaison with the staff and the maintenance teams, just to make sure that construction should be. You shouldn't really notice it, right? It should be behind closed doors, sealed. Of course, the noise every now and again, depending on what's being done at the time. But so we integrate well, almost chameleon-like. And be able to respect where we're working.
I'm speaking with Sean O'Connor. He is president of SJOC Construction. If you find out more, SJOCconstruction.com, SJOCconstruction.com. 1-833-SJOC for me is the phone number. I go back again because I think it's a really important point, Sean, and that is the fact that you're doing this work for these large corporations. No matter how big that corporation, they have these expectations. Yes. And then all of a sudden you find yourself in a residential situation. And again, all these rules, all this conditioning, all the, the cleaning, the making sure that stuff's not lying around, the organization, that all benefits that homeowner. Yeah,
absolutely. We've even done projects, homeowner living inside. imagine a complete renovation and the homeowner's living there. So we create separate zones for that client, consistent cleaning, again, noise restrictions. By laws, we're allowed between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. But if that client wants to sleep until 9, 10 o'clock, absolutely. We set up our schedule and our trades around those start times and end times. Again, we take into account neighbors. We even had a review from a neighbor because the neighbors are important to our clients. And so we take all that onto our shoulders and provide a seamless, just a pleasurable experience. Again,
I highlight that quote as I was reading it. It says, we were neighbors for an SJOC build over the course of a year. The team was always very respectful and considerate. You know what? It's easy to be respectful and considerate for the first couple of days, first couple of weeks, maybe even the first couple of months. It says everything that after a year of working with that neighbor right beside you, that they were still thrilled with your work.
Oh, yeah. No, they were great. And again, give and take. Sometimes we have to use some of their lawn areas for storage as we were building something in the back, and made sure to give them everything that we could possibly as appreciation and just ongoing effort of communication. Again, with the noise, they I believe had some clients that were working from home and specific times of the day. Maybe not all like every week or every day, but again, we're open to our phone calls are given to, our phone numbers are given to everybody. The minute that you have a question, anything that's that you need assistance with, just give us a call. And because again, we integrate into the community.
This is Ask the Expert here on News Talk 1010. SJOC Construction, a full-service, client-focused builder. Now, they're a complete team of project managers, site supervisors, estimators, coordinators, controllers, laborers, procurement, and in addition, they have an extensive network of expert tradespeople, suppliers, and construction professionals. Just a complete team. Want to find out more? Check out their website, sjocconstruction.com, sjocconstruction.com. Give them a call at 1-833-SJOC-4ME. That's 1-833-756-2463. This is Ask the Expert on a damp Saturday afternoon here in Toronto. I'm Ian Grant. Thanks for joining me. Joining me is Sean O'Connor. He is president of SJOC Construction. Sean, finding out a ton this hour about construction in general. Any listener questions, by the way, comments? Give us a shout, 416-872-1010, 416-872-1010. Text board also open, regular texting rate supply at 71010. SJOC Construction, boy, you better be doing a good job if your name is in the company name, right?
Yeah, name's on the door. I take complete responsibility. And there's a saying in our company, at the end of the day, we're all a bunch of broom sweepers, which means that every one of us at any time is able to do any job that's required, including myself. I mean, I get involved in every component and aspect. I'm a lover of construction, and I take the responsibility, but we got such a great team together that just makes this job so much easier and enjoyable. I can't say enough good things about them. I wanted to give a special shout out to many of our team members. We can do that towards the end of the program. But I'm just very grateful to be in this position.
Now, you started the company, from what I understand, back in 2016. Really modestly, you wanted to become a general contractor and builder. And it's amazing how quickly, the size just keeps growing and growing and growing. Any concern on your part that as you grow bigger and bigger and bigger, that the company might lose that one-on-one relationship that you're so proud of?
Well, there's always there's talks about, as we're growing, expanding, introducing new clients, new members of the team, keeping that client experience consistent, crisp, and enjoyable. That takes a level of dedication from each team member. The team that's with us now are such incredibly experienced, come from a wide range of backgrounds, both professionally and personally. So they bring such great ideas and concepts. and functionality to the team that's handling this expansion. And we only service where we can get to, but that is also a matter of the trade contractors in the areas that we're reaching out to. And it's just been this incredible adventure as we're ramping up. We're taking on different clients, different industries, and performing the jobs, the projects to the same standards from when we first started, which was very modesty.
I was looking through, and one of the articles that I kind of got stuck on, I cannot imagine a challenge worse than the article in Toronto Life magazine. It's a real estate listing. Sale of the week, $5.5 million for a Rosedale home that is pretty enough for Instagram. And you go through these pictures, and this home looked spectacular. It really did. I mean, the layouts, there was so much work put into it. They're right. It looked like an Instagram project. Now, along comes SJOC, and you get challenged with taking what looks like a perfect Rosedale home and making it perfecter. And you did, and not only did you do that, but you detailed it on your website. Go to sjocconstruction.com, and if you check on featured project, I looked at the featured project first and thought it was phenomenal, and then I saw what you went into, and it's one of those examples where you went into something that was pretty much perfect, and you really did an incredible job. And it's obviously, it's that teamwork. We started off the show talking about how when all the team are involved, when everyone is communicating together, the level of excellence that can be achieved is it's breathtaking.
Yeah, I mean, that was a concerted effort. Many individuals involved. Talking about how it was in its inception, very nice place, and rightfully so. Any client taking over a new property, they want it in their own style, in their own way. They have their own dreams and visions, and regardless of what is there, it might be nice on to a lot of different people, but for them, they just wanted something different, unique, and we are at the service entirely. Anything that's requested. It's a lot of everything was custom features in that place specific, and just the coordination of the amount of people required to get in and facilitate that also happened when COVID first struck, which we navigated around. It was very interesting, and just proud to be a part of that one and produce some really clean, interesting elements. Right. Gives you the joie de vivre, what we live for, to just be part of something different and special and unique.
Talk about living up to your reputation, though, because there's not a lot of companies that have a full spread article in Toronto Life detailing every example before you go in, and now on your website, a full spread article detailing the after. It really is an incredible project, and it goes back to that thing we talked about, where it's experience. It's knowing the questions to ask everyone involved. It's knowing the questions to ask going in, having expectations that are equal on both sides, not having someone settle for what they think they may want, but really understanding what the client does want and delivering it.
Yeah, and in that case, clients had a very good working relationship with the designer that discovered a lot of what they wanted and crafted it accordingly, and we were able to execute on that vision and that plan. So hats off to the design team, to the clients themselves. Like that's an expression of them. We just fulfill the vision and the dreams, right? We are the thoroughfare where we organize and bring everybody together and just make it happen.
But that's a great point where, everyone needs to work together. There can't be, these rogue, and you see it all the time, these rogue people that decide to go off and do something on their own. I mean, if nothing else, and I'm going to move off on this, but SJOCconstruction.com, click on featured project. You'll see what I mean. The original is a house I would have loved to live in. The new one, the newly renovated one, is a house I'd really love to live in, and it's there because everyone did work as a team. There, you can just tell going room to room to room that there's a synergy there that honestly you don't see in a lot of finished products.
Yes. And I highly recommend having a designer involved from the beginning. Also, through our company, we offer many outlets for design and creativity, just so that you walk into a room and everything works, everything fits. Right? The moldings and the colors and the details on the stone and location of fireplaces and millwork should all link and match with the other rooms as they're going through. Some designers we work with, they have just this endless imagination with how to transform a room and make it either a talking piece, something very luxurious but simple and muted, conservative, and also in the traditional and the modern. There's so many different approaches, and the designer also, the clients, they want what they want or have the intentions, and then the designer just flourishes that and makes it so much greater. And we get involved from the beginning to exactly understand and provide that construction insight, which is very important and critical. We can cut down a lot of time. We can rework things and give other viewpoints to either on a cost savings or efficiency standpoint. So having a great client, great design team, great contractors, and great subcontractors, I mean, we could build anything.
You're listening to Ask the Expert here on News Talk 1010. I'm Ian Grant. I'm joined this hour by Sean O'Connor. He is president of SJOC Construction. You want to see what we were just talking about, please check out their website, SJOCconstruction.com. It's all one word, SJOCconstruction.com. Click on featured product. It is breathtaking. SJOC is a boutique Toronto-based construction company working across a variety of sectors, including residential, and continually working on all kinds of exciting projects. To find out more, SJOCconstruction.com, or you can give them a call. The phone number 1-833-SJOC for me. That's 1-833-756-2463. This is Ask the Expert here on News Talk 1010. I'm Ian Grant, joined this hour by Sean O'Connor. He's president of SJOC Construction. Sean, one of the things that I find really interesting was that this was all kind of born, it found its genesis back when you were 14 years old as an electrical assistant.
Yeah, that was my first foray into the trades or the field, picking up a part-time job at the time, and he gave me a pipe and put it down on a chair and says, I need you to saw through, take 3 inches off this pipe. And then he gives me a hacksaw, and I said, okay, and then just started sawing and worked up this great sweat, and then damn near went through it and dropped on the floor, and he said, okay, you can come with me. And then that was just a little bit of a test of work ethic and attitude,
nice.
And that led into just my entire career of realizing that all I want to do and be is a builder and build incredible projects of all different sizes and scales in different cities and provinces and countries, and just organize the construction industry around servicing any projects that's required that's important to clients, which means it's important to us.
You're standing, though, on a really impressive foundation of experience that it really is. It's one of those things that only maturity can kind of teach you, that, all the jobs that you're doing, you don't realize how they're all kind of can come together. And, I'm looking at here, residential property manager and renovation and just all these projects that kind of directed you to exactly where you are today.
I had a moment, it was probably a week ago, where I was in a meeting with somebody, and I brought up something that I had witnessed or experienced back when I was younger, and also you read an excerpt from somewhere, and it's just interested reading, and then it later comes full throttle right in front of you, and then you're able to rely on those experiences. I highly recommend that people keep an open mind and consistently learn subject matters that's of interest to them, because it always comes back, and you always end up using it, finding value from it, and interest, and finding people that have like minds and interested in the same thing. So,
one of the company pillars is a better construction experience. And the industry that you're in, it's interesting just how polarized the reviews are, because people either are very happy or they are not happy at all. And people certainly don't hold back, especially in today's internet world, of letting people know, are they good or are they bad? And, one of the first things I'll check when I'm doing these shows, what kind of reviews are they getting? What kind of reviews am I introducing our listeners to? Awesome contractors, worked with SJOC on multiple projects, responsive, responsible, safe, and clean. Another one, the SJOC team ensured that all workmanship was of the highest order, no surprise, no overages. I mean, it is just one good review after the next. That's got to make you feel pretty proud of what you're doing.
Very proud and grateful again. We are in essence the officers of a project where the details and the expectations and the quality and the finishes are at a minutia level, and the expectation of our build teams to the point where if it passes our muster, then the clients, the architects, are going to love it, because we are at that micro level and able to really look at every speck of detail to present the final product to the client that they're just thrilled about. And we go over and above. Once you're a client of us, it's a lifetime that we just have your interests at hand, and we want to make sure that you're going to enjoy the space, whatever space it is, for years. Never mind the tailgate warranty, the 6-month. I mean, we have 2-year warranty on all of our work, so our construction processes have to reflect that and provide and present the best quality products and workmanship, so that we don't have to worry about it.
Sean, in your world, you do this day in and day out. I have to guess, though, as you were just saying, after your clients work with you, there is that established level of trust. And I would guess that as long as you're doing good by them, man, they're going to be with you probably for every project in the future. For someone, though, who is just looking at a pretty serious renovation in their home, this is something that, we guys out there, very rarely, once, twice, 3 times maybe in their life. What questions should I be asking when I talk, when I'm asking about, a construction project, when I'm trying to find the right people, the right team? Are there specific questions that, I should be asking these people?
Yeah. I can talk from our point of view, which is the project stems from the client's intentions. So there's of course a lot of vetting questions, experience, insurance requirements, WSIB, even check the ratings to see, the injury statistics. In our case, we've had 0 incidents, both insurance and WSIB. And you just get into, is this person going to stand by me and provide me a good experience the whole way? Never mind just as we're working out the details, and then we arrive on the decision to build. But after that, walking through the whole way into post-construction and the follow-up is vital. So you have to. It's almost like you're entering into you're dating like a marriage, and that partner has to be by your side. So but we turn it on to the client as to what exactly do you want, and to make it your space, and then we craft the project to that. So there is a duality there, if you understand.
Sean, the project I was gushing over, the Rosedale project on SJOCConstruction.com, you mentioned that project kind of just hit as COVID hit toward the end of 2019. I'm just curious because That must have, an awful lot must have changed. Like you're talking earlier this hour about how you have to facilitate, clients working from home and different quiet times and zones and things like that. There's a lot of things that you must be doing differently now than you were a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Every day we improve and upgrade and update to the current standards. We're under a core safety certification program, which the level of safety consciousness that runs rampant in our organization is to a highly established commercial, institutional, industrial standard, which actually, which brings up the residential. Residential has a lot of different players in it that it's not as structured and uniform, but we bring that uniformity to it. And as times like COVID, we're always an alert with what's required of us. In that case, the social distancing became sort of a scheduling component.
Yeah.
How to get the same work done, and we adapt and evolve, right?
Sean, you got 30 seconds to wrap up. Why should someone call SJOC Construction?
Oh man, why the hell not?
There you go.
We take this very seriously. We love what we do. We're in all industries. I mean, I'm calling on all interested clients and purchasers and owners and investors looking to make money from properties with a consistent construction partner. Right? We become the construction partner. Trade contractors, getting the best of the best. Including our employees. We're growing our team, looking to take on some top quality talent. It's not easy coming on board with us. The vetting process is very, very stringent because of the level of product that we're producing for our clients.
I'm way over the clock. I wish I could go for another hour, but I can't. Sean, thank you so much for this hour. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Ian.
Sean O'Connor is president of SJOC Construction. To find out more, check out their website, sjocconstruction.com, sjocconstruction.com. Give them a call, 1-833-756-2463.